A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. Welcome back to the Center in the City podcast, a space to pause, breathe, and come back to yourself, even in the middle of a full and busy life. I'm your host, Wade Brill, and in each episode, we explore mindfulness for real life, simple practices, reflections, tools to help you feel grounded, present, and connected to what matters most to you. So let's settle in and let's get centered. Welcome back to the Center in the City podcast. I'm your host, Wade Brill, and I am so glad you are here. In today's solo episode, I can't wait to share with you my favorite products and snacks that I discovered at this year's Expo West Natural Food Products Show. This is the 45th year that they have been running the show. It was their biggest one yet, and it was insane. It is held every year in the Anaheim Convention Center, which is just ginormous. And I feel like every year I've attended, it just keeps expanding and expanding. It's been years since I've been back to the show. I used to go to Expo West to help my sister, Sweet Lawrence, out back in the day as she was growing her company. And it was so fun to return this year and not only see Sweet Lawrence expand and be her sister and be supporting her and her amazing team and products, but to be walking the show without working and being able to be present and connect with other companies, connect with individuals, and to be exploring these products so that I can share them here with you on the Center in the City podcast. Now, for me, food is something that is a pillar of our well-being. Food, nourishment, nutrition. It is not only about fueling our bodies with clean, good, healthy ingredients that our body needs to function well, to be strong, to move, to breathe in this world. But food is also deeply emotional, and food is also spiritual, and food is also about community and well-being and the greater good. So there's so much that's tied up in food that we eat and the choices that we make. And on the podcast, when we talk about how do we get to stay centered in this world, staying centered when it comes to fueling our bodies is something that many of us have a hard time doing, whether it's we get analysis paralysis because we don't know what to eat or we don't know what to choose, or whether it's because we let our emotions lead instead of what our body nutritionally is wanting or needing. Maybe it's that we were never taught how to nourish our bodies properly. Or maybe we are still building a mind-body connection so that we can learn to listen to our unique bodies and what they need. My intention with sharing these products is not to be an influencer and say, hey, go try this. This is the best thing ever. Instead, I'm excited to share these products because they sparked my curiosity, or they felt good in my body, or they felt really creative or playful, or they were something that I wanted again. I think for me, that's something I really pay attention to when it comes to food choices, specifically when I think about snacks and products that I'd buy in the grocery store, is would I want this again? Like, does this feel like a staple I want to integrate into my life? So wherever you are listening to this episode, whether you're on a walk, prepping dinner, commuting, I welcome you to settle in and let's get centered. So let me paint the picture. It is hot out. We are in Anaheim. The sun is shining. The wind is blowing. And there are hordes and hordes of people around. All people wearing lanyards with their names, representing different brands, representing buyers, representing nutritionists, representing media, like all different walks of life are walking the show at Expo West. And it is just one of the biggest spaces I've been in with that many people. Like it feels even bigger than going to a football game or a baseball game, like any sort of stadium or concert. There are buildings and floors and halls all filled with different brands, and they all have different size booths depending on, their budget, and they all decorate them differently to try to stand out. And it is just overwhelming and enlivening and so fun all at the same time. Personally, I am somebody who loves grocery stores. Wherever I am in the world, I love going to different grocery stores. I love seeing what different grocery stores stock, the different items, the different ways that they typically design their stores, the different fields. It just is fun to me. And I know a lot of other people who really dislike grocery shopping. It feels overwhelming. It feels like a time suck. It just feels like something they have to do. Now, it's really funny because being in Europe right now while I'm recording this episode and comparing grocery stores here in Spain to grocery stores back in America, it is very different. You walk down the aisles here in Spain and there are just a few varieties of a certain product. There's not a whole row and row and row and rows of different cereal choices. There are definitely many choices, but the variety is way smaller. And we know Americans, we love our choices. We love our specific products. We love this desire to create the best product, capitalism, and put it out there and have competition to show us, who's the best, who can stand out. So that's what's here at Expo West. It is creative entrepreneurs, business people creating products that they see is a need in the market space, and they're getting it out there. They're marketing it, they're trying things, they're trying to stand out. And some of the concepts feel repetitive, and some feel really creative and new. And then some, I'm like, that's cool that you created that, but when and why would I really buy that? Or maybe I'd buy that once, but am I really going to buy that weekly or even at least once a month in my family shopping cart? And as fun and as stimulating as all of these products are, it's also consumerism, right? This idea that they're selling us more things that we think we need, more vitamins, more powders, more different types of protein. And it can be really overwhelming when it's like, can we also just come back to basics and like eat real food? Can we have protein? Can we have vegetables? Can we have things that have life to them? So I say this because there's a balance of, in my opinion, of how much products are we really buying and integrating into our life, and how much are we also paying attention to just the staples of what it is like to have a nutrient-dense diet and not overconsume packaged products. Even though these packaged products are designed with the intention to make our human lives easier, like they're giving us a snack that has the amount of protein in it, or the amount of vitamins or gut healthy bacteria to have, probiotics that we might not be getting in our normal diets. But it's so important to just find that balance for ourselves of how much are we depending on all these powders and additives versus how much are we also staying true to just eating real food and learning to cook for ourselves and eat things that actually our body wants and needs. Before I break down some of my favorite products, I want to share some of the major themes that I saw. So protein is still a theme. It's been a theme for the past few years, but it was still present. And so much so that a lot of people were starting to market their candy as protein-based candy, whether that was they were infusing some of their candy with whey protein, or whether that was just they had nuts in them. It was like chocolate and nuts. They were emphasizing the protein part of the chocolate, which are the nuts. And I just found that very comical because I'm like, you're still just serving me chocolate and nuts, but you're saying this is a protein candy instead. So that was everywhere. There was also a lot of honey. Honey was big. People were sharing honey in all different shapes and forms, using it as like electrolyte packets for performance, to using it as just a lot of manuka honey to just maintain overall health. A lot of gummies were present. People putting different super greens and collagen and probiotics in gummies. There were a lot of dates, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but a lot of date sweetened things, or dates used in things, or dates as the primary product. People were emphasizing fiber. Fiber is big. We know we start to hear that in a lot of marketing as well. So a lot of extra fiber infused things. When food shopping and going through the grocery store and I see a product that catches my eyes, or if they're emphasizing, oh, we have a lot of protein, it's like I always look at the back, I always look at the ingredients. And something I learned from a nutritionist years and years ago was make sure that protein is always higher than the sugar. So a lot of times these bars will say, high protein, and then you look at the back and maybe they have 6 grams or 8 grams of protein, but then they have 12 grams of sugar. And ideally, when we're eating some sort of snack, we want there to be more protein than there is sugar. So beware of marketing. Like, do your research, slow down, pay attention to the products that your eyes or your hands are attracted to, or maybe your mind or a memory. Maybe you're seeing somebody social media talk about it from an influencer perspective and you just want to buy it. It's like, slow it down, do your own research, and make sure it feels like a product that would actually work for you in your life. All right, so kicking off my favorite products. There were 2 chocolate bars that stood out to me. There were many, many out there. And again, coming in all different shapes and sizes, whether they're bars, whether they come in little discs or little bites. There were 3 that stood out to me. So no order, I'm not rating any of these products from favorite to least favorite, but my 3 that I chose were Who Chocolate. Most of you probably know them. I remember when they were just starting out and I met them at Expo West, the co-founders, and they just had their Who dark chocolate. And it was before they created all the yummy, delicious fillers that they now have. And now they've come out with these like little bite-sized chunks with different flavors. They have the creamy coconut flavor. They have a cashew butter with vanilla bean flavor. Of course, all in dark chocolate. But my favorite was the hazelnut butter in dark chocolate. And I love these because they come individually wrapped, and so they can become just really easy treats to bring with you to travel, something that helps with portion control. You can just open it up, slow down as you enjoy it, and it also feels like enough. I noticed I didn't need to go back for another one. It was like one and done, felt satisfying and delicious. My other favorite chocolate brand is called Element Ayurveda, and they are a chocolate brand that uses coconut sugar and beetroot to sweeten their chocolate, and they have a bunch of different flavors, all with really simple, clean ingredients, and my favorite 2 were the raspberry and the mint. I also really liked Ramio's chocolate. It was date sweetened dark chocolate. I think it was about like 66%. So it wasn't so dark, too dark for those of you who are maybe more sensitive to too dark of chocolate, but it felt rich and raw enough that it kind of melted in your mouth and had a lot of texture to it. And date sweetened chocolate is really nice to know it's out there because it doesn't have a huge glycemic index, so it won't spike your blood sugar. The next category we'll go into is protein. And there are 3 products within this protein category that I want to call out. One that really surprised me, and the other one is a bar, which I'll talk about in a moment because I have a relationship with bars that are out there. And so the first one I want to share is a yogurt company. And I actually learned about this yogurt company right before Expo West through my sister. And she had mentioned, like, have you tried this yogurt? It's really amazing. And I was like, oh, that sounds so awesome. And I happened to run into their booth at the Expo West show. So I was so excited to try them. It's called Painterland Sisters Yogurt. I tried the plain flavor, which has 18 grams of protein in it, which is a lot. If you look at your normal yogurt purchases, they're typically not that high. And this yogurt was so creamy, so clean, so delicious. And to know that you're also getting a really hefty amount of protein is really nice. So I got a chance to learn a little bit about the Painterland sisters. They grew this business from their own family's dairy farm that was supposedly crumbling and created this product, this really amazing product that I believe you can get in every state now. So definitely check it out. They have many different creative flavors as well, but I stuck with the plain, no added sugar, and really enjoyed it. The second protein I want to holler at really surprised me because I am not a meat stick person. I do like turkey jerky, but meat sticks have grossed me out. I don't know why. It's like there's a taste, it feels really salty, and it just typically doesn't feel good in my body. It feels like, what am I eating? However, Chomps created a new flavor, their new chicken flavor, and it has 12 grams of protein in it. And I have fallen in love, not necessarily knowing that I want to like go stock up on having a bunch of meat sticks in my cabinet all the time. But I will say, as somebody who is learning how to eat more protein, and I'm going to do a whole episode on why soon, so don't you worry, because I thought it was just a fad that was out there in this world, but I'm really learning about my body and that I need more animal protein. And so I've been inspired to be thinking about how can I get more good protein in my body throughout the day. And Chomps seems to be like a clean enough and a way that my body actually enjoys it as well, because pleasure is so much also tied to what we're eating, right? We don't want to just have to shove protein in our body to get protein in our body. We want to enjoy it. So I'm enjoying the Chomps chicken flavor. Still not a fan of the beef, but the chicken is where it's at. The next product I want to shout out is Kize, Kize. They are a bar, and normally I am like not a big fan of bars because it's just so easy to throw so many different ingredients in them, and they taste kind of like cardboard, but yet they're so easy, right? They're so easy to throw in your bag or take on a hike with you or travel with. And I was surprised by how not only like flavorful and fun it was to eat in my mouth, because it had the texture of both a Lara bar and an RX bar, but it also tasted sweet, but sweet, not too sweet, but sweet like I'm eating kind of like a cookie. And I had their chocolate chip cookie flavor. It had 10 grams of protein, and the 10 grams of protein were almond butter, pea protein, and egg whites. Now, I want to call myself out here because this bar has 11 grams of added sugar and only 10 grams of protein. So ideally, you'd want it to be higher with protein than sugar. However, I wanted to give this brand a shout out because they're also very mission driven and give back to the community. I'm adding this other product to the protein list. So Goodles, if you haven't heard of them, they are a protein-based pasta that is targeted for kids, but honestly, adults love it. In my family, we love it. And it is a mac and cheese, a better for you mac and cheese brand that has more protein in it, but it also has vegetables added to it. Vegetables like broccoli and spinach and kale and pumpkin. So you know that you are getting food in you that has a little bit more nutrient density to it than if you were just getting the blue box. It has 14 grams of protein and 7 grams of fiber. When deciding between boxed mac and cheese, where do you go if you're not making it from scratch? I highly recommend this brand. Next category, we're going to get into some snackies. I mean, granted, they're all snacks, but getting into more like finger snacks, mouth snacks. I discovered this brand called Everybody Eats, and they are based in Chicago. They're women owned. I really love their pretzel. It's gluten-free. It comes in, a different shape than when we think of pretzels. So it came in kind of like a chip, square chip, kind of Cheez-It shape, very thin, very crunchable, really great flavor, texture, and salt combination. And it didn't taste like cardboard. It's made of chickpea flour, potato starch, chicory root fiber, sea salt. So it has minimal ingredients and it's very much an allergy-friendly brand. So if you're looking for something that you're wanting something salty and crunchy and that your hands and your mouth can enjoy and your body can feel happy, I definitely check out this brand. They have many different flavors. They also have like a Cheez-It flavor and I believe like a everything flavor. So they're definitely doing something fun. Okay, this next pick is definitely the most creative product I experienced at Expo West. It's not necessarily something I would want to purchase for my family on a weekly or even monthly basis, but I thought it was so smart for those out there in the world that love gummies and want to eat gummies that are better for your body and also are fun for your mouth and your hands and give you that kind of dopamine sugar hit. So the company is called True Dates. You've probably seen their sister products, True Gum, out in the wild. Well, they created this product called True Dates, which have many different flavors. And for me, what stood out was this flavor of watermelon, sour watermelon. So if you're somebody who loves sour gummies, notices like this addiction is not really good for you, or you're looking for something to supplement it, I would highly, highly recommend checking out this product because all it is dates with natural watermelon flavoring. And that's it. So your brain, when you reach into the bag, is so confused because it's like you're looking for, you see something date based, okay, and then you put it in your mouth and it literally tastes like a sour gummy. It's got that same texture because of the dates, but the flavoring is still sweet and sour, and yet you're not getting additives of corn syrup and cornstarch and all these other gross things when you eat candy. So for those that have a gummy addiction, I definitely check it out. Your eyes and your mind are going to be confused, but I promise you your mouth and your body is going to be happy. The next category is vitamins. Now, vitamins are taking on this whole other transformation. As I mentioned, a lot of them are in gummies, a lot of them are in powders, and now we even see a lot of vitamins in these like liquid forms, in these like flavored little liquid pouches that you open up and you kind of squeeze pouch out into your mouth. And so I want to shout out a few brands that I enjoyed and I would definitely consider buying again. Manukora is a Manuka honey brand. They're based out of New Zealand. And not only does their packaging feel simple and elegant and raw, but I really enjoy their product. And they have these little Manuka honey pouches that you can get that are easy to take with you, easy to travel with. And I've really enjoyed having them because Manuka honey has so many health benefits, like so many antibacterial, anti-inflammation. They support with gut health. that it's just great to travel with when you think you might be getting sick or just want to support your immune system staying strong. So I really loved learning about this brand and enjoying their products. Okay, the next product is called Bloom. And I had never heard of Bloom, and they had a ginormous booth at Expo West. So they're obviously out there, looks like killing it, or have a lot of investor money. But Bloom had so many different products. They had super green gummies, they had collagen powder, they had creatine powder, they have other gummies. They have this really good, I really enjoyed it. It's like a super green powder that is berry flavored, so it doesn't taste like you're ingesting just straight up spirulina and wheatgrass. It is also sweetened with, I believe, stevia, so it's definitely like feels a little artificial, but you're also getting a dose of greens and gut healthy bacteria, probiotics, things that might be challenging to get into your diet, especially when traveling. So I've had some of these packets while I've been on the road for the last month, and it's been fun to incorporate into my day. I don't know if they're going to be a craveable product that I'd want to buy again, but it's really good to know that they're out there in this world and fun to try. This is one of the products that I want to be cautious of because I think there's so many, green powders out there all trying to support us getting more greens and vitamins and nutrients into our diet, which is really hard in our modern day food world, right? We're not eating enough vegetables, or the vegetables that we're eating maybe don't have enough nutrient density in them. But I want us to remind ourselves that it's better to get more real food in our diet instead of lean on all of these powders. That being said, sometimes we can't help it, right? Sometimes in our modern world, we're traveling, we don't have access to a kitchen. So these sorts of products can be really helpful to supplement in our lives. There's also a brand that I had never heard of called Sunny Within, and they are a liquid vitamin-based brand. And all of their vitamins, come in different packets that are supposed to be for immunity or cognitive support or longevity or a mushroom blend. I tried the cognitive and immunity, and I really liked the immunity. It is avocado oil based, and then it's full of vitamin C and zinc and D3 and K2 and many others. And they said that they're the only liquid vitamins out there that are served with avocado oil to help with digestion, to help also the vitamins be metabolized in the system. I haven't researched this. However, I will say I enjoyed it. And I don't know if it's like the way I want to be getting my vitamins in my body, but I will say it's kind of nice to have, instead of like a huge bag full of 4 different vitamins you're pulling from, to have them all in one place. That being said, I also know that everybody's individual. So what your body needs might not be what's actually in that formula. So this is where you get to be a smart consumer and think about your own body's needs and what it wants and what it needs. Because you might be low on B12, you might be low on K vitamin, you might be low on zinc. And so it might hit some of the boxes, but it might not hit all of them. So really thinking about your body and what it needs, and even specific doses that your body might need. And I do think taking this, I definitely had like the placebo effect of like, oh yeah, I'm doing something really good for my brain right now. Or, oh yeah, I'm doing something really good for my immunity. So, paying attention to those kinds of stories that our mind says when we're ingesting or investing in certain products is really important. Last 2 products I want to give a shout out to. One would be Sweet Loren's. Sweet Loren's, of course, my sister's company, came out with a new place and bake scone. And that is really delicious. So if you are somebody who is gluten-free and allergy-free and hasn't been able to find a scone out there in the wild that satisfies that itch of a baked good, definitely check out Sweet Lauren's new scones. And the last product I want to shout out is Coyotas tortillas. These are tortillas that are made by cassava flour, very simple ingredients. It's like 4 ingredients: cassava flour, water, organic coconut oil, and sea salt. And I love this because if you go to the supermarket, you will tend to find that most tortillas are full of these extra additives. And the ones that aren't typically are really expensive. And I get it. Like, it's like, why do I want to spend $2 per tortilla when I can spend 25 cents for one? However, the ingredients really do matter because there's so much extra fillers in a lot of the other products that are out there. And the cassava, these tortillas felt like they didn't taste weird. They were just super simple and clean, had a great texture. You just heated them up with a little oil on the pan and then do whatever you want with them. And I just highly recommend. In my family, burritos and tacos are definitely a weekly staple, whether we're doing a breakfast theme or it's more of a veggie and bean theme burrito, but they're just such an easy, healthy way to make a meal and have it taste delicious. So thank you for listening to my breakdown of Expo West 2026, some of my favorite products, and I didn't even get to go to all floors. So there are definitely, I'm sure, amazing brands out there that I didn't get to give a shout out to. I would now love to hear from you. What are your favorite food products? Have you tried any of the ones that I've given a shout out to? What are the food products that you tend to rely on? What are the food products that you crave, that you go back to again and again? I hope this episode inspires you to slow down when you go to the grocery store, to explore what curiously draws to your attention. Is it the marketing? Is it something that your body has wanted? Is it something that your fingers are craving or your mouth is craving? I welcome you to bring mindfulness, bring this curious awareness with you as you food shop, and notice the brands that you connect with and the brands that you want to explore and the products that your family enjoys. Thank you for letting me into your ears, your heart, your mind. It is always such a pleasure to connect with you. And let me know your takeaways by joining me on Instagram so that we can continue to geek out about our favorite food products that support us staying centered.